Hi, this is your reporter from eSports Channel 1, and today we're interviewing Carolyn Michaels.
I'm Carolyn Michaels from Sachem North High School, and I play for the Overwatch eSports team.
And what's been your experience with the eSports team?
I really love doing it. I met a whole bunch of new people, and I love, playing in the competitions. I'm a really competitive person.
Have you made new friends with your eSports?
Yes, I didn't know any of the people on the team prior to, the team forming, and I'm really glad that we made the team because, I wouldn't be friends with them now.
What are the forces that motivate you when you're playing eSports?
I'm really competitive, so I like to win.
What are your current goals in school or for college and gaming?
Well, gaming has always been my passion, so I'm hoping esports can help me get into a field of game development or working with one of the businesses that makes games.
Aren't you one of the top female gamers on Long Island?
I guess so, yeah.
How does it feel to be a female on a male sport?
It's not really that big of a deal to me, but it's cool, I guess.
What advice would you give other gamers who are just starting?
Just keep going, I guess. If it's your true passion, then just keep going.
How do you feel about your eSport team at Sachem?
I'm proud of my team.
Hi, this is your eSports Channel 1 reporter, and today we're talking to a Sachem High School e-game player and gamer. And what is your name?
My name is Anthony Gelata, and
tell us about yourself.
I draw, and I love gaming a lot.
How did you get into gaming?
I've been playing since like 4 or 5 years old. The first game I ever played was, I think, Spider-Man 2 or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the PlayStation 1.
And how do you feel about gaming?
I love it. It's one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life. Personally. I didn't hear it.
What are the forces that motivate you? What motivates you when you're gaming?
Everyone working together and coordinating as a team to just people working together, like strangers. You have no idea who these people are, but they want the same thing that you do. And it's amazing to see people that you have no idea who they are working together like they're family.
What are your current goals in school? For college and gaming?
I'm trying to get into computer engineering, like computer design, and creating games. I want to be a game designer when I grow up.
Aren't you growing up already? What advice would you give other gamers just starting?
Don't give up, because I've been told to just quit so many times. You just can't listen to those people. You do what you want to do, basically, and just don't let anyone tell you different.
Where do you see sports gaming in 5 years?
Probably as big as football or basketball or something like that. Stadiums filled with people just watching these people play games.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully working with a big gaming company, designing the next, big hit.
How would you describe eSport gaming to somebody who's never heard of it?
It's basically sports just with video games. That's it. You have two teams and they're going up against each other. It's just on a screen. That's it.
Hi, this is your reporter from eSportsChannel 1. Today we're talking to Dr. Ken Graham, Superintendent of the Sachem School District of Lake Ronkonkoma, New York. Dr. Graham, could you give us an idea of how large your school district is?
Sure. The Sachem School District is just about 13,000 students in 15 schools over a fairly large geographic area in Suffolk County.
When did you get the idea of introducing esports gaming to your club curriculum?
I wish that I could take credit for introducing the esports program here at Sachem. Unfortunately, I can't. It was through the work of our students, bringing it to our administrators here at Sachem North, and now our advisor, Ms. Dansky, really takes the lead on that and helping to grow the program.
What type of student do you think this club attracts?
Well, it's funny. When you look at our students and our children who are playing games online, I think that the type of student who's involved with gaming really transcends all types of students. And when you look at the students who are involved right now with the gaming club here at Sachem, I think we have a lot of students who perhaps didn't have other niches in the school community, and that this has really opened up opportunities to them to become a true part of the community here in the schools.
How do you see esports being part of your overall academic program?
I think that eventually esports or e-games becomes something a little bit larger than a club. When you start to look at some of the classes that we have with regard to computer programming and design and some of the computers and technologies that we've been able to add to classrooms, we have a robust robotics program here in our school district. So I think that this starts to grow over time, and perhaps even having feeder programs at the middle school, but something that becomes a much larger program.
Would you ever consider esports a varsity sport?
I suppose I would be responsive to what's occurring in the world around us. I mean, you know that there are scholarship opportunities for students to compete in esports at the collegiate level, and that's something that we'll have to watch, and that may eventually make its way into the high schools, and certainly if it's something that's going to occur, we would be a part of that movement.
So you realize that your guidance counselors should be aware that colleges are offering esports programs and many scholarships.
Yeah, and in fact we had some students who were awarded some opportunities with scholarships this year coming out of high school and going into college. And so that's something that we have to continue to, when we look at our guidance program and we encourage students to go on pathways and we look at things that they're interested in and perhaps interested in studying in college, that we shouldn't forget about esports as another opportunity for students to go on into college and study something that they're interested in.
What words would you offer another school superintendent who's thinking about introducing esports program in their district?
Well, it's funny, you know, a lot of what's set up here in high schools is based in tradition, and sometimes that's becoming a little bit outdated. And so esports or gaming are things that our children are doing every day, our students are doing every day, and we need to perhaps integrate some of that so that we can continue to be engaging. And so I would encourage other superintendents who are interested in pursuing or adding this to their offerings to give us a call, to come visit us, and to see some of the good things that are occurring, and to see how this is engaging some of our students.
Where do you see esports program in your school district in 3 to 5 years?
I think I had alluded to it earlier. I see the program growing, and I see natural offshoots with regard to programming, with design, and then with the playing itself, so that we could almost have a holistic approach to it, so that perhaps even at some point our students are competing on games that have been designed and created by other students in our school.
Do you have any comments, additional comments to share in this interview?
I think that as a school system, we want to look for opportunities for our students to become engaged in the school system. And not all of our students are going to have a love of mathematics or sports or the arts. And this is another opportunity that we can look to engage students so that they become more active and involved in all aspects of their schooling. So I think this is a great opportunity to really make connections with our students to the school itself.
Any final comments?
I think that, as I mentioned earlier, our schools are set up in a very traditional fashion, and that this is something that our students are involved in, and if we start to look at integrating more activities like this into our schools, that it's a change that's responsive to the needs of our students, and it's something that needs to occur moving forward.
This is your reporter from eSports Channel 1. Today we're talking to Principal Patricia Trombetta of Sachem High School North in Lake Ronkonkoma, New York. Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. How many students does your high school have?
We have a little over 2,200.
Give me an idea of how many outside club activities does your high school offer?
We have about 20 clubs that are offered after school, in addition to sports that are offered after school.
Recently, your high school added a new type of club activity, eSports Gaming Club. Tell me about it.
It's a club that actually meets the library most often, and they just started competing this year. And it's basically gaming where they work in teams competing with each other and against the other schools.
What has been the reaction to supporting the new eSports Club for gamers?
It's been wonderful. District office has now added a second advisor to that program so that there'll be support for them. In addition to that, they've agreed to pay for buses to the events and meets that the kids are going to be participating in.
How does the eSports Club open up new opportunities for your students?
It gives an avenue for students that weren't involved in other clubs and sports and something they have an interest in. And we're learning all about college scholarships and things like that. To me, though, it gives children a chance to get engaged and feel good about themselves and build confidence and have, more of an ownership in the building and participate in something of their interest.
How do you see eSports Club being part of your overall academic program?
I see it building. There's studies now that say that kids that are very good in gaming and things like that, video games, make the best doctors, because now more of medicine is moving to electronics and robots and things like that. And it's all hand coordination. So kids with gaming can take that avenue, as well as, all different programming aspects of it that are available. So it definitely gives students an opportunity.
Would you ever consider eSports a varsity sport?
Right now there is conversation about that, believe it or not. I'm a part of Section 11, the executive board, and that has come up often. A couple years down the road, I'm definitely seeing it be there.
How does your high school support the eSports team?
We want to make it grow. We want to give them the opportunity that they need to be successful. We want to make sure they know they're supported, and we value what they're doing, and we certainly want to be their biggest cheerleaders.
Are you and your guidance counselors aware of the many colleges that offer eSports programs and scholarships? I
learned about it this year. I was not aware of it until this year. And I'm amazed by that. I think it's a wonderful opportunity, again, giving kids that of their interest avenues that they can pursue and opportunities that they didn't have in the past.
What words would you offer another school principal who's thinking about introducing an eSport program to their high school?
I would say go for it. You have a lot of students of interest. It's certainly academically based. It's teaching kids programming, working together as teammates, pursuing something of their interest. So again, it's another avenue for students, and it's getting them engaged and involved in the school community.
Where do you see eSports in your school in 3 to 5 years?
I see it being a very big program, adding on more like robotics. Our robotics program is huge here, and eSports, I think, can go down the same avenue.
Do you have any final comments you'd like to share?
I'm just very proud of the team, and I wish them well, and I can't wait to see their success continue.
This is your reporter from eSports Channel 1. and today we're talking to the Sachem School E-Team, eSport Team Advisor. And who are you, young lady?
Carrie Dansky.
And how did you get involved with the eSport team at Sachem High School?
I run a video game club, and one day a group of my students came up to me because they were interested in competitive video gaming. And they said, how can we do this? There's a lot of venues for colleges and for to have a professional career in gaming. So how do we as high schoolers get involved? So we sat together, we did some research, they did research on their own, and we came up with a few different sites that offered competitive gaming, esports, to high schoolers. We then narrowed it down to the high school eSports League and signed on with them, and we started our Overwatch team.
How many people do you have on your eSports team?
Right now, as of today, I have 17 members on my eSports team. I have 12 for my Overwatch and 5 for my Smash Brothers.
And where do you see it in 2 or 3 years?
I see it exploding. I see eSports becoming a venue for students who aren't athletic to compete, to learn how to not socialize, but to learn how to problem solve with a team, to learn how to work as a team in a venue that is of high interest to them for the first time.
How has your school supported your program?
It's been incredible. A conversation started April of 2017 with my superintendent at a lacrosse game. And I said to him, why can't I do this with eSports? And he said, do it. So we did. And he has been amazing. My principal, Patty Trombetta, amazing. She has supported us every step of the way, to the point where she donated some of her games from her own kids.
What advice would you give to other teachers that are looking to start eSports teams in their school?
Do it. There are college scholarships for these kids. Colleges are calling me on a regular basis that they saw a few of my students play in. It is so important to get this out, that kids are eligible, especially in this day and age, for college. It's incredible.
Where do you see eSports in 3 to 5 years?
I see it becoming really big for the high school. It's already competitive in college and established, and already established as a pro, so post-college. So I'm seeing in 3 to 5 years that the high school eSports teams, those will become huge. More and more colleges are looking now at a high school level to find those teamers or gamers.
Any final comments?
My final comment would be everything in moderation. I'm not saying somebody should game 24 hours a day, but we do practice our sports a minimum of 3 to 5 times a week. So you have to allow your kids to practice, but everything in moderation. That's my final.
Stacy Painter at the Sachem Public Library. I'm a librarian in our Teen Services Department.
How did the library get involved with the Sachem eSports program?
Well, basically, we have a lot of programs that the library runs. And on Friday nights, we have a large group of teams that we have here, and a lot of them are gamers.
Why did your library support the gaming program?
Well, one of the big things is that we have been doing a lot of outreach lately. So we've had Kelly Coates, who's our outreach librarian, trying to get us into the schools, trying to make connections and find things that the teens can do here at the library. So that was a big part of it. The library wants to be supportive and wants to find these groups that have a need to use the library.
My name is Dina Rizzo, Anthony Gelata's mom.
When did you learn about eSports? What do you know about eSports?
Well, I didn't know too much about it until actually they had their tournament. Sachem had their tournament. My son's always on the computer, I tried to understand it, but until the tournament, I did not know anything about the esports. But after seeing the first tournament with these guys and the players and the teamwork that they've done together, I do understand it more. I think it's a great opportunity for the kids to get together, and they have a strong bond when they're doing their tournaments. I think it's a great sport for them. It's not a physical sport, but for them it's their type of sport, and I think it's a great opportunity for them.
How has it improved your son's attitude as far as his family and his socialization?
It's definitely helped him with his socialization and family. I think he's come out of his shell more than usual. I'd always yell at him or reprimand him to get off the computer, but I see now that he has friends on the computer that he's been working with doing the gaming. At first I said there's no physical interaction, but he explained that these are his friends on the computer. Like nowadays you don't know who these kids are on with. But as he kept on going and gaming, he explained to me that these are the kids that he's working with, and it became a good thing.
Do you see esports benefiting your son's education?
Oh, most definitely.
How?
I know there are scholarships that are waiting for these kids. I just think like I said, it's not a physical sport, but I think these kids are going to take it to the next. It is like a physical sport, I guess you could say.
What advice would you give other parents of kids that are playing video games?
I would tell them not to harp on them being on the computer for many hours. It is frustrating. They sometimes don't eat, they play through dinner, they ignore the rest of the family, but it'll all be worth it. And like I said before, it's something that a parent has to get used to, but I think in the end it'll definitely work itself out, and I think it's something that the parents should give their kids a shot with.
Any final comments?
I just think it's a great opportunity once again for these kids to get together, and it's gonna go a long way. The gaming's gonna go a long way.